know you're somewhere.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kem. Today, Leo, you guys got Beaver Spirit, lay a solid foundation with the Tower. To me, this is like you're doing something very differently, but that's like been a very common thing for Leo. I feel like a lot of changes that have taken place like from last year and even this year, you're learning from those experiences and you're making those changes. So I see somebody here like trying to do things differently and trying to actually like apply what you learned. And that's what I'm getting with this read. I'm also getting like there might like the Tower kind of can mean like a surprise or a shock or something to yourself that like I feel like there's something you're not admitting to yourself. That's what I'm getting with the Tower here and the ship. It's like there's something here that's keeping you from moving forward, and it's like maybe one of the last parts. We're always going through, I guess, like mini towers, right? Like there's always going to be something new that we're like we have to discover about ourselves, right? Like we're not, if we knew everything about ourselves, we wouldn't be like watching tarot, right? Like if we knew every single little thing that we needed to know at this point, we wouldn't be here right now. So I feel like this is something that you're finding out, but I think it's about yourself. Because like in order to lay a solid foundation in your life, in order to be like very stable and very grounded, you have to know yourself, right? So I feel like this is like a energy of like figuring something out about yourself, and that's going to enable you to move forward. Like maybe there's something about yourself that for everybody is different, right? Like I kind of know this about myself. Like if I don't work out or do something like with a lot of the energy that I have sometimes, like I get like anxious, or I'll put that energy into just scrolling mindlessly through like YouTube, you know what I mean, or Instagram. So like I know that about myself. Like I have to do something else with my time, or I'll just sit there scrolling. So like there's something here that you're finding out about yourself. That's what I'm getting. I want to know what it is, Leo. Let's see. But overall, a good energy. So Leo, I'm getting a lot of masculine energy in this read. I have the Sage, the King of Fire, the Emperor, the King of Pentacles. So I have Earth energy, Fire energy, Aries energy with the Emperor, a lot of masculine energy. I feel though, it doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine, but I feel it's interesting you're getting the King of Pentacles because that has a lot to do with your stability, and it's in reverse. Right? And then they're saying lay a solid foundation. So there's something that's like tugging at the really like the foundation of who you are. You know what I mean? Like the essence of who you are. That's what I'm getting, like the word the essence. And I think what's going on with that is that for a long time, there's a lot of suppression. For a long time, there was a lot of ego. We have the two cards of the ego together, but they're in reverse. So it's telling me that you're putting the ego aside for now, and you're letting like whatever needs to come to the surface come to the surface. So I feel kind of like a hole in the floor, and like water coming out of the floor. That's what I'm getting with this. Like a lot of emotions are coming up to the surface. A lot of feelings are coming up to the surface. That's what this Tower is, the emotions, the feelings. And a lot of you guys like to keep them within. So a lot of you guys don't like them to come to the surface. So I feel, again, it's like a spout that like was dried out, like a fountain or a well that dried out. And now the water is coming back again. And I think it's going to be a little difficult for some of you guys to feel like these emotions coming to the surface because, I mean, nobody likes to feel raw, and nobody likes to feel, it's a scary feeling to have like your emotions come up. That's what I'm getting, especially for you, Leo. But what I'm getting with this is that it's coming up so that you can move forward. So there's something here that like has been holding you back. Like again, I was saying like from the last year that I've been doing your read, and the year before that, I've been feeling like there's a lot of things that you've been having to overcome and a lot of things that you've been having to learn, right? And it's hard to have these lessons and actually take like the lesson from the what you learned, right? Like sometimes you can get a sign like from the divine and like disregard it, right? And not even use it to your ability. And that's kind of what I feel like you were doing for a long time, like getting a lot of signs, getting a lot of signals, but like not really like applying them at all. Like, you know, that's like you get a sign from, you know, you're like, oh, should I go left or right? And then you get this like clear indication to go right and you go left. You know what I mean? But I think finally now you're going to be headed towards like the right direction because these emotions are coming up, and these are something that you've been blocking for a really long time. So it's like the last piece of the puzzle I'm getting. And you're like, well, is there more? Is there more? Is there more? There's like always more. You know what I mean? Like we're never done healing. We're never done acknowledging like who we are and like what hurt us and what happened here. And like, I feel like you hate to do that. Like you hate to analyze a situation. You kind of just like to sweep it under the rug. But that's what's leading to this tower. The fact that like you keep sweeping things under the rug over and over and over again. It's kind of like reminding me of the story that my brother told me where he's like, he was having a problem with one of his like bosses at one point, like this is back in the day, and he never said to the boss like anything, you know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, like, you know, months and months later, he had like, you know, this blow up moment with the boss, and it's because he's like holding it back. And it's like, if you have a constructive conversation, right, and you tell this person how you feel, you might get fired, yeah, but like if you come at them really respectfully and tell them something, I feel like that's more constructive than like blowing up at them like a month later. You know what I mean? And I was telling my brother, I was like, yeah, but didn't you learn from that? Like now you can learn, like you can't just let things get to a point where you feel like you need to blow up. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like is going on here. Like there's a point here, and I think you got this last week, which is interesting. There's a point here where it's like everything is coming to the surface from maybe a past event or something that hurt you. Again, I can see here like the injustice of it, the feeling of loneliness. And they want you to like kind of bask in it. You know what I mean? Like they want you to feel these emotions. And you're like, why would anyone want me to feel this pain? Why would anyone want me to go rehash like a painful situation? Why? Because you have to heal from it. You have to move forward. It's blocking your heart. It's blocking like your ability to have a relationship. That's what I'm getting. It's blocking your ability to love. It's blocking your ability maybe even to love yourself. You know what I mean? So it's like, how can you get into a relationship with somebody else if you're having a problem with your own self? You know what I mean? So I feel like it's good. Let these like emotions come to the surface. Like if somebody hurt you, somebody cheated on you, somebody was like wrong, you know, it's not that they weren't wrong. They were wrong. But what does that do for us? Like like someone saying like, oh yeah, like I was wrong and I'm sorry. It still hurts. You know what I mean? And it still sucks. And there's still like the emotions from that event that like are in our body, that trauma that's like stuck in our body. So I feel like this is a really big time for you guys, Scorpio season. It makes sense that you're going to be like unleashing all these like emotions. That's what I'm getting. And it's like the ego is not holding it down anymore. Like the ego, I feel like somebody was like taping it, you know, like taping it shut so that it wouldn't come out. And it's like you're finally letting it come out. You're like, fuck it, I don't care. Like I'm gonna let it release, you know. I kind of want to know what's going to happen here because you end with the Two of Cups. So again, I feel like this ability to have a really good and meaningful relationship, you know, it's kind of been like up in the air, this ability to like maybe trust somebody again or be with somebody again. And it's because of this past shit, these emotions that you were hiding from the past. You know what I mean? This could have been years ago. But now that they're coming to the surface, you're getting to know yourself more. It's like, wow, well, that really did hurt me. And I underestimated how much that hurt me. Or that still is like a traumatic experience to me. Like I still think about that and I'm like, wow, it hurts. You know what I mean? Like you're like accepting that that's okay. You know what I mean? And with that, I think comes a lot of healing with a certain relationship from the past. So I'm getting that for you guys. It's like somebody made you feel very unstable. Somebody made you feel very like, with the King of Pentacles in reverse, somebody made you feel very like, again, like the wall, like the floor was sucked up from underneath you. You know what I mean? And you don't ever want to feel that way again. But like this emotions that are coming to the surface make you feel vulnerable, and they make you feel like, oh my God, like, you know, I don't want to go through that pain again. But it's like the only way to kind of like let these emotions come to the surface is to just like let them come up. You know what I mean? Like to move past these emotions from the past, you need to let them come to the surface. So I feel like that's what this is about. Keep doing it. I know it's hard. But I like that your ego's not blocking it anymore, because if you keep repressing it and you keep holding it in, it's not going to lead, like, again, when you try to get into another relationship in the future, it's going to be a big block. Okay, so this is like unblocking the heart, unblocking wherever you had this blockage. I'm getting like root chakra, you know, like very deep within the first chakra. It like affected you to such a point where it's like really hard for you to trust people, and it's really hard for you to, you know, love again. You have the green with the heart, you know what I mean? So I really feel like this ship is a really positive thing, because it's like you're moving forward now after all these emotions come up. And it's funny because we're going from like the earth to the water. So it's like, again, from deep within you, right? These emotions come up and they enable you to move forward. So it's like you're riding the wave instead of you being like, I picture somebody like, you know, when you run into the beach and you just get like hit with a huge wave and you fall back and you're just like twirling in a wave. Like, instead of you twirling in the wave, you're going to be riding the freaking wave, because you're aware of the emotions, you're letting them come up to the surface, and you're like, okay, I'm accepting that, like, this made me feel terrible, or this made me feel lonely, or this was really unjust, and I'm accepting it and I'm moving forward. Like, what the devil wants is for you to not move forward. You know what I mean? The devil does not want you to get forward. That's the whole point of the devil. Like, the devil wants you to stay in this illusion, in this fear that you're not worth it, or whatever this person did to you, it's because of you, and it was because of you. No, maybe it was just this person's fault. You know, maybe this person just did something that was bad. Maybe this person was unhealed, okay? Like, it's not all your fault. Like, it's not anybody's fault, maybe sometimes. But I feel like it's not pointing the finger towards yourself. It's pointing the finger at, like, the action that person did, how unfair and unjust it was, and saying, okay, you know what? Like, people make mistakes. It's not a reflection of who I am. Like, it doesn't have to have been my fault. I can move forward without any guilt or blame or whatever into a new beginning, where, again, I'm not holding all this in. I'm letting it go. I'm releasing it. And once I release it, I know that I can, like, move forward into something much healthier. Again, but you can't move into something healthy if you're still triggered by the past, and you're still like, oh, this person did this to me, so now this new person's going to do this to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot about moving forward. But I feel like they're trying to tell you, like, this is one of the last legs of this, you know, trauma for whoever this is, or this really bad experience that happens. The last leg, we have 10, and then we end with a 1 with the Ace of Swords, and we have another 10 here. So that's what I'm saying. It's like this allowance of this energy to flow through is going to allow you to go back into a relationship one day in a very healthy way. But it's like you cannot go back into a healthy relationship, like, if you do not heal from this. That's what they're saying. Like, you know, you cannot have a healthy foundation with anyone if you don't work through this. And it's funny because, again, the devil wants you to get stuck here, right? So it's like you'll never be able to have another stable and secure relationship. You'll never move past the pain from the past. Like, stay here. Like, that's what the devil wants. And I feel like you have to be stronger than that fear that, like, okay, like, this happened, it was my fault. Like, it's just all fear that the devil places in your mind. Like, okay, you can't move past this. You're already moving past it right now. The tower is actually you letting everything come to the surface so that you can move past it. So allow it. Don't, like, get tricked by the devil and think, like, okay, like, all these emotions are coming up, let me block them, let me put my ego back on. No, like, that's what the devil wants, for you to get stuck. So be careful. Let's pull some advice, Leo. So, Leo, you guys have new opportunities with confidence. See, like, you're starting something new. You're starting a new chapter. And again, it's like the devil's like, no, stay here. If you stay here forever, you will never have these new opportunities. Or you have these new opportunities come your way and you feel like you're not ready for them, even though you are ready for them. So another thing I'm getting is, like, again, maybe you're working through all this and new opportunities are coming your way, and you might think, like, I'm not ready for them. You are ready for them to a certain extent. And, like, as you move forward, this, like, water starts to fall out. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, as you start to move forward, maybe it's all happening simultaneously. Like, these new opportunities are coming and these emotions are rising within you. And these emotions, like, it's like you meet somebody new and then you get all these trust issues, right? It's like, work through them. Don't, like, blame this person for shit from your past. Work through them yourself. Do you get what I'm saying? And It's interesting because we have Sappho the poetess, and she always talks to me about a very like intense love connection. Like I always get like, you must really love someone. I love every inch of my body, and I love the woman in my life fiercely. Maybe the person that really hurt you, you still have a lot of love for, and maybe that's something that's very hard for you to fathom, like how much you still love somebody who hurt you. And what I'm getting with this is like, whatever this deep love was with this person, it's not a mistake. Like it's never a mistake to love. That's what I'm getting. It's never a mistake to love somebody deeply. It's never a mistake to give somebody or show somebody love. Like maybe that person didn't know how to love at the time, but like you giving yourself to a person does not make you like the dumb one. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we're just, you know, we all have issues, right? And we kind of mess up. And again, if you can forgive this person, and there's like nothing that I feel like need to do to forgive yourself. Like if you like, what, you're gonna forgive yourself for loving somebody like who might have been a little bit toxic? Like, I mean, loving is never like the wrong answer. Like showing love to someone is never the wrong answer. Like there are such a thing as boundaries, right? Like you need to have boundaries with the person. Like, you know, I can love somebody so much from a distance, but I don't have to be their boyfriend or girlfriend because maybe they are a toxic person. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that you have to come to the realization of. Like in order to move forward, maybe you'll realize like you'll never stop loving the person who hurt you. And it's complicated, right? But at the end of the day, I never feel like it's a mistake to love anybody. Like showing love in the world is never a mistake. And you definitely probably change this person by loving them in some sort of way. So I think you should move forward confidently that, you know, you're working through your shit. New opportunities are coming your way. It doesn't matter if like this is all happening all at once. The feelings for this past person, you know, I still have a lot of love for them. I don't know why. It makes me mad that I love this person still. But at the same time, like I want to move forward in a very healthy relationship, and I'm going to give myself the chance to do that. You know what I mean? And I have to start over again, and that's okay. Doesn't matter how many times I have to start over again. Like this new start that you're beginning on, again, it's better to start over again and again and again and have to try again and again and than to stay stuck. That's what I keep getting with the devil. Like the devil wants you so badly to be stuck, Leo. I don't know why I keep getting that. Like they want you to remember the past, and they want you to remember how hurt you felt, and they want you to remember how unjust it was, and they want you to remember all those bad feelings that you had to keep you where you are, because that's going to keep you from these new opportunities. So it's like, oh yeah, loving that person was the worst thing. No, loving this person was loving someone is never a mistake. Never, ever a mistake. And yeah, maybe again, you have to have boundaries with this person. Like you can't date this person or you can't be with this person, but like loving this person definitely, I think, would make this person better, if anything. And maybe you're like, well, I'm not better from this love. You know, I don't feel better from this love. You will. You will. You will. You have new opportunities, confidence coming. The ego is getting shed, and like the ego is kind of taking a back seat right now, and that's exactly what needs to happen. So sit in this vulnerability, sit in this like heart energy, sit in it, and realize again that even if you're trying to love somebody new again, these trust issues, this problems with the past, they will arise, and maybe you need to talk to this person about it, or maybe you have to talk to yourself about it, but that's okay. That's what's called being like a healthy individual, right? Like talking about shit and then moving past it, not just running away or hiding how you feel or, you know, putting on a front. So that's what I'm getting, Leo. I love you. I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time. Bye.